I've always told people that, when we're negotiating self-government, that we're not hating what Canadian government has done to us. We're not hating the territorial government. It's just that the systems that they have in place are not addressing the issues that are on the ground. And so by the time policies and regulations and legislation hits the ground and it gets applied to our people, we never fit within that because it's always like a box, and we're a circle, and we're trying to fit within a box, and we can't fix anything. So we need to be able to try to get control so that we try to work directly with our people to understand their needs, their wishes, and their wants, and we can, design policy around that so that we can try to move our people forward. We're in a state where people are not going anywhere. We're not really succeeding at getting a proper education. We're not succeeding at getting, economy going and participating in the work world. We're just in a state where we're kind of waiting and allowing others to make all the decisions for us. And working with the elders during the negotiations have taught me to really understand that they want to go somewhere, but they're stuck. And how do we move forward? And that was the basis of the negotiations that we followed in terms of principles. Self-government agreement coming into place would change a few things. Not everything at once. When we first start, most likely things would look the same, feel the same, smell the same, but the reality is that the difference is that we are in charge of making some decisions, and we can change policy, we can change legislation, we can change how things look on the ground. But I caution everybody to try to anticipate things changing right away. I always tell everybody that we've gotten here, and it's taken government, federal government and the territorial government over 60 years to get us to where we are today. And it's going to take us a few years to change a generation. And we will focus on changing a generation, but it's going to take time. It's going to require for people to work together. It's going to require people to help one another. It's going to require people to share with one another. And that's quite different to what the current system is. And that's going to be the unique thing about this agreement, is that people will go back to the way it used to be, where they're helping, working, and sharing with one another. So that's what's going to be different about it right off the bat.
We'll speak here in many tongues. Join circle with your mask down. You will see.
We used self-government in the context prior to contact with the Europeans. We did everything ourselves. We had all our own medicines. We had all our own traditions. We had all our own laws. Our laws came from the animals. The laws came from the air, came from the water, came from plants, trees. That was kind of self-governing because you used all those tools to make sure that your family survived and that you were able to carry that generation to the next generation and to the next generation and so on. Today, under the current system, we're losing all of that. We're losing passing on our traditions and our customs and our beliefs as Aboriginal people. We also come to realize that we need to be stronger than the average person that is not an Aboriginal, because we need to hold not only on to our customs and to our beliefs, but we also need to learn about the non-Aboriginal way of life and be able to participate in that world also. So, as the Clean Cho would say, strong like two people. And that's what it means, is that you need to learn two entire different customs and beliefs. But the thing about it is that you're going to be stronger for trying and doing. And when you are done, you'll have the ability to look after your family, to strengthen your family. We have broken families, we have broken homes, we have a lot of issues with respect to housing, education, even health. And this system here is designed so that people can start addressing that. And that's what self-government is that you have to be in charge of the way you want to survive and live. And if you're not in charge, then remain the same way, because you're certainly in a world right now of dependency, and you're certainly in a world of losing everything if that's what you want. And so I think it's really important that if people really want change, if they really want to strengthen themselves as an individual, if they want to strengthen their family, they want to strengthen their community, they need to start working together. And this is a structure. It's only a tool that will allow them to do that. That's all it is. And if they understand that, then they'll know that this is probably the right thing for them. Members of the Deline Band or the Deline Land Corporation that will continue to be members of this self-government agreement that don't live in the community will be affected to some degree. Currently, we've had discussions with the community and the leaders about how do we get members outside the community more involved. How do we get them to be supporting what's happening at home? And if it's not happening at home, if we're investing and we're doing things outside the community, can we get members outside in other cities involved with running some of our businesses or some looking for investments for our community? But we also would like to try to reach them, if they're going to school or if they're struggling to try to get a career going or participate in the economy, that we would work very hard and designing a service within the community that not reaches beyond just the community of Deline, but to members outside the community. We've heard loud and clear from the people in the discussions that we've had with them over the years when we've come out to the Yellowknife, and we've heard from them about, that we should use them more and that we should involve them more. And the reality is they're right, because it is some component of the government is that we will be managing their money and their resources, and we need to be able to make sure that they benefit from those monies and resources just as much as the members in the community. So having a government in the community being able to take on education, training, economic development will allow us to try to help members outside the community also, whether they participate in the government or not. We certainly want to make sure that we have some services available to them. The self-government agreement will be constitutionally protected and become a treaty. The land claim is already a treaty. They are going to be parallel to each other. They support one another. One doesn't change the other. And so reality is that once we become self-governing, the land claim agreement will still be intact, it'll still be in play, and our self-government agreement won't change that.
We are speaking the truth of the people. We are marching to the beat of one.
The land claim and the public government system is something that we're joining under this new model, and the land claims end of it, the beneficiaries will always continue to have direct say and control of the assets and the monies that are being managed and being spent. So we'll always work with members about what's happening with their money. We'll always inform them, but they get to make the decisions themselves. The land claim monies will be managed by members through what we call a beneficiaries board. The beneficiaries board can be appointed, can be elected. Those are the type of things that the members will have to decide. I've negotiated the power and ability to do certain things, but in the end, it's the members that will decide how things will operate. So it wasn't my mandate to negotiate and tell people how to do things. It's basically, here's the structure and here's what you can do. You guys decide how you want to do it.
One